We are moving on with the Radical Japan set, where we have film number 149, 1971's The Ceremony. And here we have a much more controlled Oshima. It's not as flashy, it's not in your face, it's not as wildly out of control as some of his other movies. And there's one, it's kind of quietly unsettling, and as the film continues, the thematics become clear, and it becomes an indictment of Japan in a much more controlled manner. This is all set across decades in post-war Japan, as we see a powerful family gather for repeated ceremonies like weddings, funerals, formal rituals. And as we spend time with each of these ceremonies, we realise that beneath the surface, this family is falling apart.
関係がないとは何事だ。死の直前に寛一郎はお前のところを訪れていたのではないか。それがそもそも人倫に外れた行為だ。汚らわしいことだ。
You know, the traditions are upheld, everybody attends, it's precise, but there is a bubbling resentment below the surface of compromise, of new generations wanting to move away from what the past has done, and realising that their bloodline seems poisoned by the very people who should be protecting it. It's one of those films where it shocks, it doesn't hide its thematics, it challenges the viewer and shows you things that you really don't want to experience. It is controlled, and it is extremely devastating as a film. The family here become a microcosm of post-war Japan. They cling to hierarchy or nationalism, then the patriarchy, while they gather together for all these ceremonies, and every time they gather together, it becomes more suffocating, it becomes more destructive, it becomes more poisonous, and you realise that the perception of this family is all that matters. But when you scratch beneath the surface, you realise how poisoned, how tainted, and how utterly nihilistic they all seem to be.
私はあなたの腹違いの姉が家を出奔して誰とも知れぬ男との間に産んだ私生児でした。あなたはそのことを理由に結婚は許さぬとおっしゃいました。泣いて訴えに行った19の私をあなたは力ずくで。
You feel like Oshima is quite clearly stating that Japan is stuck between the past and present. You've got the old guard who are sticking to the traditions of what they should be, and you have the younger generation who are scared to speak up, scared to act and stop what's going on. It's a theme that you really see damaging our main character, who you see damaging other characters throughout the film. It is that inherent repulsion of what's going on, and a terrified inability to act against it. The characters and the situations, as it flirts through time, really show you these in varying degrees. As it moves to another ceremony, it peels back more layers. You know, what starts as a fun, interesting, affluent family gathering together, ultimately by the end it comes down to withering generations, destruction, and a family lineage that shouldn't go on, or it needs to change dramatically to evolve and move with the world.
あの屈辱的な結婚式のことで自分が惨めに思えて仕方がなかったのか。何分酔っ払ってしまって自分の気持ちもよくわからないくらいだった。
Again, Oshima really lets the film settle. He doesn't use flashy camera work. It's all static. He lets the situation unfold in front of your very eyes, and it becomes repulsive and disgusting and shocking, and ultimately just turns the viewer off from the situations in the family. I thought in this box set, it's one of the better films. It's got a really strong message and it sticks to it. The filmmaking matches the tone of the film, you know, where it's it's controlled and it's measured. But the longer it lets scenes play out, the more unsettled it becomes. I like this one. It's not my favourite of the set. Definitely one that made me uncomfortable at times as well throughout it. Let's dive into the disc, have a look at the extras. Here we are in the disc for the ceremony. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have select scene commentary by Jasper Sharp, and this runs for 1 hour 17 minutes. Next, we have Nagisa Oshima. In this television interview, Nagisa Oshima discusses the profound influence European art and architecture had on his personality. Originally broadcast on Belgian television in October 1986, and this runs for 4 minutes 26 seconds. And it's basically him talking about the Art Nouveau movement, how it inspired him, and how being in Belgium, looking at the architecture and just soaking in culture. Then we have Tony Raines. In this interview, critic and programmer Tony Raines discusses Oshima's life and career, from his early years and introduction to the industry to his film, TV work and later life. Filmed exclusively for Radiance in July 2025, and this runs for 45 minutes 25 seconds. And basically, you have Raines giving his sort of personal reflection on Oshima, who he knew, and then going into a chronological biography, how he gets into the business, key moments in his life, all the films that he worked on and the impact that he had. It's really in-depth. It's really nice coming near the end of this set. And that's the extras for the ceremony. So the ceremony is not as challenging as Death by Hanging immediately, but it's one that definitely lingers in the thoughts afterwards. One that definitely has a strong statement to say and doesn't mess about with the thematics. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's one I'm going to rush back to, as it left a bit of a bitter aftertaste. But still, I'm glad to have seen this one and one of the better films in the set. I'd love to know your thoughts on the ceremony, so let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, or fell somewhere in the middle. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com always, in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.